Hey, it's Adrian and welcome to another episode. I thought we'd go somewhere completely different today in terms of what we're going to look at, and I want to turn our attention to health. Now, my channel started talking about health and well-being, and we stepped into all this stuff about the coronavirus and current world events because it felt critical to do that. I want to start stepping now away from some of that information and start to look back at health. Now, you've seen some of the videos where we've talked about the things that you thought about health weren't necessarily true. I thought we'd take a closer look into some of that right now. I want to address 5 areas that affect your health. Number 1 is toxicity, number 2 is nutrition, number 3 is electromagnetic frequency and radiation, which we have covered in more depth. We're just going to brush on that. Number 4 is stress, and number 5 is belief. So number 1, if we look at toxicity, I'm just going to throw a load of stuff out that is toxic in your life that you may or may not have been aware of. Number 1 is toxic thinking. You want to start getting a handle on that and start being aware of the thoughts. Don't think toxic thoughts. Don't think badly about stuff. Find things that look good and feel good and focus in on them, because that will affect you. And toxicity in the lives around us, the air we breathe, the water we drink can have chlorine in it, fluoride in it. If it's a closed loop system around a city, it's also going to carry all sorts of information. It'll have some of the drugs that people take that haven't been cleaned out. They use aggressive cleaning chemicals. That's not great water. Water filtration works, but doesn't always take fluoride out. You may have to look at reverse osmosis, anything like that. But the better quality water you can get, the better you will be. Toxicity in the air, maybe you need some kind of air filtration system, I don't know. You get toxicity on personal care products. The skin is the biggest elimination organ on the body, I believe. So be aware of the stuff you're putting on your skin. And ladies, that includes a lot of the makeup products. A lot of the stuff in those ingredients won't be doing your skin any good. Stuff you put to stop yourself perspiring, not a good idea. A deodorant, absolutely, but an antiperspirant, your body needs to get rid of that toxicity. It's important. It's also a cooling mechanism. Be aware of the stuff that's in deodorants, particularly if it's aluminium, which is a really big problem for your body. Look at toxicity in food. Start to pay attention to the ingredients. If it's got any kind of preservatives in it and a big long list of things, you probably don't want to be taking that into your body. The drinks you drink, water's great. Well, yeah, water's great, really. Everything else, you're starting to introduce other kind of things into your system. Now, some of the teas will be fine, some of the fruit teas, but be aware of what you're putting into your system. The more toxins you put in, the more toxins have to come back out. The greater the toxic load, the more chance you're going to display symptoms of illness. You can look at cleaning products around the house. Some of them are extraordinarily toxic. Some of the shampoos you use, they'll contain SLF or SLF, which have a very, I'm trying to think of the right word, it's like a very small molecular weight. They basically go through the skin and get into your nervous system and stuff, and I believe that's possibly why hairdressers who've been at it a long time, you start to see kind of shakes and neurological issues. Might be wrong on that one, it's just an idea that I've had. But be aware of all these things, the stuff that you're cleaning your clothes in. You know, there's all sorts of different natural ways to approach it. And by the way, just as cleaning products go, white vinegar, bicarb of soda, baking soda, they're awesome for cleaning. They're really, really effective. And white vinegar is also a really good thing to use as a instead of fabric conditioner, because it's acidic enough to lift out the remainder of the cleaning products you're using, but it's not acidic enough to do any damage to the clothes, and it makes them a lot brighter, more vibrant. They smell fresher. They smell of vinegar to start with. That soon passes and everything smells a lot fresher. But again, you can do research into that. So that's the idea of toxicity. You want to reduce the amount of toxins going into your system. The lower the toxic load, the more well you will be. And when it comes to having like a seasonal flu, if you don't have that much toxicity to come out, you may or may not get the flu, or if you do, you'll probably have a very light time with it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is nutrition. And this is an area that most people really don't understand. And it's something that I'm not going to cover too deeply, but you want to dive into it more yourself. Your body needs minerals, it needs vitamins, and it needs other nutrients. So you want to familiarize yourself with that. Microwave food is not nutrition. Pot noodles and stuff like that, they might taste great. They are not nutrition. Anything that's in a packet is not really nutrition. But look into it. I'm not saying it's all bad. The very best from where I'm sat and the research I've done that's relevant to my life is locally grown, organic produce that's seasonal. That would be like the gold standard, if you will, if that's the right term to use. Anything that you step away from that, you're starting to step away from really good nutrition. So start to look into that, pay attention to that. Stuff that's got lots of ingredients, I wouldn't have it. Stuff that's tinned, canned, just be wary. Start to think about what you're putting in. You're only built by what you breathe, what you drink, and what you eat, and the thoughts you think. That's basically how you're constructed. So start to pay more attention and put better quality nutrition in. When you do that as well, you need less food, right? So that's one of the things I want to talk to you about on nutrition. Electromagnetic frequencies, electromagnetic radiation. We've covered some other videos on that. There's links in the description below about that. It's harmful for the body. It doesn't matter what people may tell you and they say, but the study's this, it's harmful. You want to start shielding yourself from that, get distance from that. At night, certainly, find a way to turn the Wi-Fi, the phones off, everything, so that your body, and the Wi-Fi routers particularly, and if you've got other neighbors that have them on, maybe they might be kind enough to turn them off as well while they sleep. I don't know if they'll do that. The more distance you can get from that, the better your health will be. Stress. Now, obviously some of these others all form of stress because all these things kind of link together. Stress is enormous because it shuts down your immune system. So the current situation we face ourselves in, they're causing a load of stress. Families are being pushed apart. You can't get close to each other. Well, they say you can't, but obviously you can. Stress about work, stress about money, stress about food, stress. Stress causes your immune system and your body to get sick. That's basically how it works. Meditation's great, getting out on the earth, grounding, earthing. I've done some videos about that. Learn how to do that. It's really simple. I'm sat here right now, my bare feet on the ground, and I'm on bare feet a lot this time of year, and I'm outside a lot this time of year because I found that works really well for me. So find ways to reduce stress. Don't take things too seriously. It'll always work out, provided you stay attentive and you follow your own path. So start to learn how to manage stress. If you find the news is stressing, you turn it off. And by the way, have you worked out that if none of us went on social media and none of us went on the television and we didn't read newspapers and we didn't listen to the radio, all of this would have been a complete non-event because none of us would have heard about it. How cool would that have been? All right. Anyway, that's another story. So find ways to manage your stress. And the final one is belief. They've done a lot of work on the placebo effect, which basically means you're given a pill which isn't really a medical pill, and they do it in double-blind placebo tests, where basically someone gets positive results because they believe they will. And that's absolutely true. If you believe you will, and a belief is simply a thought you keep thinking, which is why, again, they keep reinforcing this, trying to get us to buy into it, you'll get sick. Well, there is the opposite of the effect, which is called the placebo effect or the nocebo effect, which also means you can get ill just by thinking about it. So be aware of that. See, I believe I just won't get sick. I believe that I've got an incredibly powerful immune system it's in me. My body knows how to repair itself. I get cuts, things get bruised, get banged, they get better. If I get some kind of illness from some toxicity, I remove the toxicity, it gets better. And that's what this is all about when it comes down to it. It's about understanding cause and effect, the causal relationship. If you remove toxicity that's making you ill, you get better. If you remove or you improve your nutrition, nutritional deficient illnesses go away. If you remove EMF and EMR from your life as best you can and they were a problem for you, you get better. If you remove stress, you get better. If you start to think differently, you get better. It's all cause and effect. It's such straightforward stuff, and it's understanding that straightforward stuff. Now, we'll quickly finish up on some nutritional ideas for you. We talked about getting locally grown organic produce where you can. And the other thing I want to add to that is beware the organic trap. If you're buying things like organic seedless grapes, they're great. The problem is they're not able to give life because they have no seed in them. Anything that has a terminator seed or a barren seed, it's not going to do you any good because life can only give life. And you can test all that stuff. The beans you buy, try and sprout them. The rice you get, try and sprout that. You can look online on how to do that, but start to pay attention to that and start to refine your path through this game, and your health will come back. You won't need to be going to hospital. You won't need to go to the doctors. They don't seem to know what they're doing anyway, many of them. You are responsible for your own health. So when you understand that you're being bombarded with all this toxicity, all this electromagnetic frequency and radiation, all this stress, the fact that stuff you buy quite often has got no nutrition left in it, it's no wonder that we're getting sick. It's no wonder that the hospitals were overflowing. So just have a think about those things and step into that. And if you want me to do more videos on that, I probably will do actually, because that's really the direction I wanted to take the channel in anyway. But for this one, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the things that can affect you, and that you can simply go and do the opposite and you will remove the effect of that. So that's it. You guys are amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.